So I chose big picture because I think it's interesting learning about what you wanted to learn. So I chose forensic science because I was interested in crime TV shows and crime documentaries. I developed my work by starting and looking at websites that were reliable with organisations. And then I went and saw our science teacher who did a uni course in genetics, so then I could start looking at DNA and fingerprinting. And then I started my uni course on criminology, which looks at statistics and data, so then I can get a background on criminals. And big picture, we have to do a learning plan that puts all of our learning into a plan for the year, for the term. It just goes over a time. So the science in my project is DNA and how that can relate back to forensic science. So for the history and English side of my project, I'll be doing reports on how technology has changed the forensic science and criminology field and how that's going to improve into the future. The maths in my project is statistics, data and graphs, and we also do maths pathways, which runs through the whole school. What I enjoyed the most is probably the DNA side and the fingerprinting side, because that's mostly the forensic science behind it.
That's just going to prompt you to talk about things, isn't it?
I've always had an interest in chemistry ever since I first did it. When I first did it, I just thought, yeah, that's for me. I've chose big picture because I thought it was more towards what I wanted to do with my life and was able to learn about what I wanted to learn. And my interests are pretty much just chemistry and physics and food science. I've been learning a lot about chemistry this term, so about how atoms and how they're made up, how they bond with different types of atoms and how they make particles, how it makes up the whole universe. To help me with this, I've had Grant, our science teacher at school, working really close aside next to me, even having hour-long conversations with me about chemistry. At the moment, I've got not an internship, a work experience at Master Food set up for the last week of term for a full week, which I'm hoping will lead into an internship next term. Big picture requires us to do something called a learning plan to help create our own projects for our learning. There are different sections of our learning plan which help us show the work that we're doing that can tie back to our normal subjects. So we've got empirical reasoning, which is science, and for me that's, at the moment I'm doing stage 6 chemistry work to help link in with the uni degree I want to do. My English is my portfolio, my journal entries, terminology and meta-language glossary, which is my glossary of all the new words I'm learning. Then there's quantitative reasoning, which is maths. So for us, we do maths pathways, which is to help us study our maths until the end of year 10. Then we've got personal qualities, which is the virtues the project helps you work on. For me, it's time management, independent learning, using technology, strong work ethic and motivation. Then there's resources, which is the stuff and programs I use to help me with my project. So for me, it's Newcastle Uni, Education Perfect, Grant, the main science teacher at the school, and my laptop and the internet.